Safety Virtual Conference. You have joined the car seat panel number 1 session with Sarah Haverstick, Kelly Murphy, Tree Slate, and John Sumroy. Our moderator for this session is Kathy Murphy. This session is worth 1 CPS CEU. As a reminder, you may network and collaborate through the chat function located in the bottom right-hand corner of your meeting window. Second, we will hold all questions for the presenters until the end of the session. The Q&A function will become available at about 15 minutes left, at which time you may submit your questions using the Q&A function. Please include the name of the presenter to whom your question is directed, since there are a few of them. Click the button with the 3 dots in the lower right-hand corner of your meeting window if you need to access that. Third, to receive continuing education credit, watch for an email. You're going to receive that within about a week following the activity. It will contain a link and instructions to complete the conference evaluation and download your certificate. We're going to wait just a few more minutes to allow more participants to join, but the session is going to begin very soon. Thank you very much.
Nate, you just let me know when you're ready for me to go, okay?
I think we're all set, so just go ahead and get started. Thank you very much.
All right, perfect. Good morning, afternoon, whichever time it is. I'm on East Coast, so I think it's still morning for y'all in Illinois. This is Sarah Haverstick, safety advocate with Good Baby International. I'm going to apologize up front. I'm actually sitting in a waiting room in between doctor's appointments right now, so I'm trying to do this on my phone so it's not quite as loud for you, but hopefully you're going to hear most of what I have to say. If you're not familiar with Good Baby International, here are our main car seat brands. This morning we're going to talk about updates we have with Evenflow and Cybex. But if ever you have questions about GD or Urbini, you're always welcome to reach out to me. I'm happy to help answer those questions as well if you come across those products in your work in the field. And I usually say a little bit more about education and community, but this year all I'm going to say is, we're all virtual, and we've been doing virtual stuff with Evenflow for 4 years now. We've offered one-on-one car seat appointments for our consumers. This past year during the pandemic, we also opened that up for our Cybex consumers as well. So if you're ever working directly with a consumer that has an Evenflow or a Cybex seat, you can always direct them to either of these links. If you don't write down these links, you can access both of them from the main pages of each of our websites. And we're happy to provide those appointments with our certified techs in our customer service department. So I'm going to start with some Evenflow updates. This past year, in the middle of a global pandemic, is a great time to launch new car seats, and we launched our first ever 4-in-1 car seat. So this is an all-in-one that you can see on screen. Goes rear-facing, forward-facing, high-back booster, and backless booster. There's 2 different versions of this seat, the Every Fit, which is the one that you're seeing on screen, and the Every Kid. The Every Kid is exclusive to Walmart. The Every Fit is open line, so it's available anywhere. They both have the exact same specs as you see on screen. They have slightly different features, so I'm going to talk through the features and let you know what's different. The Every Kid is at a slightly lower price point than the Every Fit. So in terms of features, they both have a 12-position adjustable headrest, which is attached to a no-rethread harness. They both have optional head and body pillows. And much like for other Evenflow products, these can be used when the child is rear-facing in the seat, but need to be removed for forward-facing or booster use. They both have push-on lower anchor connectors, and they both have 4 recline positions. 3 of those reclines are for rear-facing mode, and then 1 is fully upright that you would use for forward-facing and for the booster mode. They both have cup holders, and a couple important things about the cup holders here. The cup holders are required for use in rear-facing mode, so they must be attached to the product when you're using it rear-facing. They are dishwasher safe, so you can pop them off. You can stick them in the top rack of the dishwasher. And on the Every Fit version on the right, the one that's just a little bit more expensive, you can see it also comes with a little insert that's a snack tray. So it has a little additional insert in there where kids can keep their snacks or whatever they want to keep there. The Every Fit version also comes with cooling mesh fabrics and also has additional side impact protection. Another note about this product, we tried to give some information to consumers to help them kind of troubleshoot that rear-facing convertible installation, we all know is one that can be a difficult installation, especially for new parents, and it's much different than that instant car seat installation. So we provided an insert where we let the consumer know if they need some more recline, they can place that towel or a pool noodle underneath the recline foot, as you see at letter A. However, when you're using this product, if you find that it's becoming over-reclined, so you're getting more recline than you need, we're actually instructing that you can place that towel between the reclined foot and that opening underneath the car seat and against the vehicle seat back. So essentially, you're taking up that triangle worth of space in that little opening area right there. So if it's over-reclined, you can do that. Never will we do both of those together. So on the far right, that's what you see, not using both of those at the same time. The Symphony line, not one that I often talk about during product updates because it's been around for quite some time, but we actually do have some updates to the Symphony that I wanted to let you know about. There are exactly 2 versions of the Symphony that will be moving forward, and this is one of them. This is the Symphony Dlx. This will replace any other Symphony Dlx that was out there. This is an all-in-one seat. You can see it goes from rear-facing to high-back booster mode if you weren't familiar. It has 5 headrest positions, has our infinite slide harness system, which allows you to raise and lower that harness to meet exactly at the child's shoulder height. But the big change that we made here is that we replaced the lower anchor connectors. So now on this DLX version of the Symphony, we've added in the Easy Click lower anchor system. This is the updated lower anchors we introduced a couple of years ago, where you ratchet the handle. So all you have to do is ratchet back and forth to get a nice tight installation. And this is shipping now. The other update to the Symphony now, this is a Symphony that is just going to be called a Symphony. No other letters, no other extraneous information, just called the Symphony. And the update here is this has just standard anchor hooks, and it has free flow fabrics. So these free flow fabrics are designed to keep your child cool, dry, comfortable. So it has an upgrade to the fabrics there, but just your standard anchors for installation. And I wish I could share today, but I can't because marketing has told me I can't share it until next week. But we have a brand new all-in-one that's launching, and we are really, really, really excited about it. So if you want to hear more about that, we do have a short webinar next week with MACPS. And then at the very beginning of March, I'll be giving our full product update webinar, so 45 minutes of fun with me. So if you want to sign up for either of those, I checked yesterday and there were still openings, but we will definitely in March go through a lot of detail about this new seat too. Super excited about it. If you weren't aware, just a couple of other announcements. Our LightMax infant car seat line does allow you to start at 3 pounds. So if you weren't aware of that, the updated height and weight are listed on the screen. This affects all of our LightMax infant car seats. So anything that says EvenFlow LightMax or EvenFlow SafeMax, this includes the SafeMax is that second from the right with the anti-rebound bar. And the newest LightMax, the DLX that has the load leg is the far right. Both of those are included with this as well. This is all in an FAQ that is the first FAQ listed on our website, but I can also give you a customized letter for your hospital or institution. So if you need something customized, just send me an email and I'm happy to send you information with these details. As always, with all EvenFlow soft goods, everything is machine washable. So you can take off all of those soft goods. You can always place them in the wash. We want you to do that on delicate cycle with cool water and mild detergent. So no chlorine bleaches or anything, but then you can also put it in the dryer. So tumble dry on low for 15 minutes. And again, that's true for every EvenFlow soft good. So whether you're working with an institutional seat or any of these retail seats. And speaking of institutional, we do have our institutional sales program on the EvenFlow side. So if you have questions about that, you can always reach out with the email on site or on this page. Eve or Patsy would be happy to get in touch with you and give you some additional information about ordering products. So that's the EvenFlow updates. I want to give you a couple quick updates with Cybex because we have some fun things happening on that end too. We actually have a new full line of booster seats with Cybex. And I think the really cool thing here is we've never had booster seats at anything other than a fairly high price point for Cybex. So now you'll see, and I don't normally talk price points, but I'm going to show you a chart in just a couple of slides to give you kind of the breakdown of where they fall within different price points. So I'm pretty excited about it because I really love our boosters. And it gives you a couple of different options depending on what price point a consumer might be comfortable with. So this first one is called the Solution B-Fix. This has a 12-position adjustable headrest, so you can raise and lower that headrest. The side wings remain static. It does have the linear side impact protection system built into the side wings, and it also has lower anchor attachments. You can see those are the anchor hooks down at the bottom of the screen and one cup holder. Then we have, and you can feel free to laugh at this name, the Solution B2 Fix Plus Lux. That's a mouthful. It looks very similar. It has the same static side wings, but now we have kind of a pod for the LSP so that external side impact protection. Still has that 12-position adjustable headrest, but now the headrest adds in the reclining headrest feature, whiix we've had on other Sidex booster seats before. This also has rigid lower anchor attachments. So instead of the anchor hooks, you can see at the bottom of your screen there, it's got the rigid attachments, and also has dual cup holders. So you can see how we're stepping up with features. So this is the full line of boosters. I didn't include the Z-Fix in this presentation just because we don't have a whole lot of time, and that was one that we launched last year. But the Z-Fix, the big differentiating factor between the other two boosters is that the side wings are not static. So as the child grows taller, the side wings also expand out to expand out for those shoulders. So B-Fix and B2Fix have static side wings. The Z-Fix has the side wings that grow up and out. Last update that I wanted to share is related to Sirona S. This is our rotating convertible car seat. If you have not seen that with Sidex, we launched that last year. I don't really want to go through a ton of the features. Obviously, the main feature is the rotation and the fact that we have that load leg that you would use for both rear-facing or forward-facing use. But I wanted to show you something that's new that we added in during this past year. So one of the things that we heard, as you install this car seat, you have to push the car seat itself up to access your belt path. And then sometimes that car seat shell would kind of slide down and would get in the way. So what we've now done is when you take off your belt path cover on the left, so you take that out to expose the whole area where you're going to do your installation, in the middle of the screen where I have circled, you can see two little orange pegs. These are little locking pins. So now we've added in a locking pin. So basically, as soon as you take off the belt path cover, the locking pins are exposed and your car seat will remain locked in that upright position. So it's not going to fall down, not going to hit you in the hands. You can do your whole installation. And then on the right, when you replace your belt path cover, the car seat's going to move down into that first recline position. And at that point, you can do what you need to do, whether you're reclining it more or if you're going to put it upright and move it into a forward-facing position, you have free access to use the seat at that point. So that was something that we updated based on feedback that we were receiving from consumers out in the field. So that's what I've got for today. I hope that that was on time. So on behalf of lots of the kiddos on our car seat team, thank you so much for the work that you guys do every day. We really appreciate you. This is my contact information, so you can always feel free to reach out if you need anything. Patsy and Eve are on there as well. And then we do have tech discounts for both of the brands. So always shoot me an email if you ever have a question about that tech discount, and I'm happy to get information to you. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Kelly Murphy. Hold on a second here. I'm trying to. There we go. Hang on 1 second, friends. How are we looking? Okay?
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Again, my name is Kelly Murphy, and I am the safety advocate for summer. Again, thank you for taking the time to join in for today's session. And thank you to the team in Illinois for the invite to present today. I'm super excited to be here today to share a great new product with you. For those of you that do not know, Summer Brands is located in the very small state of Rhode Island, Woonsocket, Rhode Island. And Woonsocket is very close to the Massachusetts border, just about an hour outside of Boston, just to give you a little detail of where we're located. The Summer Brands portfolio is currently made up of key 3 brands. So if Summer, the SUMR, is the umbrella, the 3 brands under the umbrella are Summer, Born Free, and Swaddle Me. Each of our brands has a clearly defined purpose, and today I will be introducing you to a new summer product. So the SUMMER, the logo on the far left with the butterfly, is the brand I will be talking about today. We've all heard this question before, correct? And we all know the answer is the one that fits the child, fits the vehicle, and the one that is used correctly every time. Our team here at Summer has a deep experience in car seat design. We knew by engaging with car seat advocates like yourself, parents, caregivers, and hospital staff, we could design a seat to fit a wide range of babies. And with our new level of easy installation, our seat is designed to be installed correctly with very little effort. So, without further ado, I'm very proud to share with you the Affirm 335 car seat with the Affirm steel lock base. So why are we calling this seat the 335? Not because it costs $335 and not because it weighs 335 pounds. Thank goodness for that, right? We did, however, design and engineer the Summer Affirm 335 car seat to accommodate babies from 3 to 35 pounds, and that's where the name comes from. The seat can also be used beginning at the low height of 15 inches up to 32 inches. Again, I'm beyond excited about that 3-pound starting weight and the 15-inch height minimum, thus bringing another safe mainstream car seat option to the market for the tiniest of travelers. The seat has 4 harness slot positions. It also has 3 crotch positions and an infant harness loop. I do want to note that prior to using or recommending the Affirm 335 for a premature, a low birth weight, or perhaps a medically fragile infant, please make sure you or the family you are working with has approval for use from the child's physicians and hospital team. I also wanted to note here that we do not allow for crotch rolls as they are unnecessary due to the design of the seat. However, if the situation arises where a family could benefit from a shorter crotch strap, one is now available, and please reach out to me or the Summer customer service team should you have a need for a shorter crotch strap. The Affirm 335 base is reinforced with steel, and as you know, steel is designed to flex and it will absorb the energy from a crash, therefore not passing that energy on to the child. We also designed the base to install consistently, whether using the vehicle belt or the lower anchors. With our simple-to-use steel lock arm, parents and caregivers can correctly reproduce a good, a better, or a best install with confidence. The blue belt guides on the Affirm base are covered when installed with either the vehicle belt or the lower anchors. This design was implemented to help lessen the misuse that often occurs when the parent or caregiver doesn't realize they need to open or engage a lock-off for use. In addition, the Affirm base does not have the traditional vehicle belt path openings, eliminating unnecessary and what can sometimes be confusing belt routing. For the lower anchor installation, to access the connectors, you lift up the steel lock arm and you will immediately see the storage compartment, which is located at the front of the base between the 2 blue belt guides. Feed the connectors through the 2 blue belt guides and attach them to the vehicle lower anchors. You'll want to tighten the lower anchor straps and close the steel lock arm. If you're having difficulty getting the steel lock arm to close, you've probably over-tightened the lower anchor straps. So just open the steel lock arm, loosen the lower anchor straps a bit, and once again, close the arm. For a lap and shoulder belt installation, again, you'll open the steel lock arm, feed the lap and shoulder belt through the blue belt guides on both sides of the base, buckle the seat belt, and close the steel lock arm. It's that simple. Although you may see the steel lock arm referred to as a belt tensioning arm, please know that it does act as a lock-off. We do, however, recommend switching the belt retractor into the ALR mode to prevent entanglement or entrapment issues. You can also see noted here in the red box that if you run into a situation where the seat belt you are working with has a fold in the webbing or an attached plastic button, you may need to adjust the recline foot, move the base to another seating location, or if available, move the base to a seating location that has lower anchors. The Affirm does have level indicators on both sides of the base. When the blue square is fully visible in the level indicator window, you'll know the base is at the correct recline angle. The recline adjustment level is clearly marked and can be found in the center of the base between the 2 blue belt guides. We do allow the use of pool noodles or a tightly rolled towel, and you may need pool noodles or perhaps a rolled towel for a baseless installation, which I'm going to talk about on the next slide. If you do need to use pool noodles or a rolled towel with the base, the recline foot must be completely stored. Also, we do allow the rear of the carrier to touch the front vehicle seats. However, the recline angle cannot be affected. We also follow the 80-20 rule for overhang, and as you know, 80% of the car seat base must be in contact with the vehicle seat. We are in a new era of car ownership with the availability of so many different rideshare services, but families still have to have the ability to get from point A to point B safely. We are calling our baseless installation the rideshare mode. The Affirm allows for a European-style baseless installation via the blue shoulder belt guide on the rear of the carrier, as highlighted next to the number 3 picture shown in the center of this slide. However, if the seatbelt you are working with is too short, we do allow a baseless installation which feeds the shoulder belt in front of the carrier. For either method of baseless installation, never pass your shoulder belt through the blue vehicle belt guides. The Affirm does not come with a locking clip. If you do run into a situation, perhaps with a baseless installation where a locking clip is needed, please contact customer service or myself so that we can get one out to you. The body insert that comes with the Affirm is all one piece, not 2 separate pieces, so not 2 separate rules for when it should be removed. The body insert is optional. However, it must be removed when the child reaches 11 pounds. Also, the body insert is only intended to be used when the harness straps are in the first or second slots and the crotch buckle is in the inner or middle buckle slot. Many anti-rebound features on rear-facing only car seats are attached to the car seat base, which means you do not get the added safety feature when you use the car seat without the base. However, the anti-rebound feature on the Affirm was designed, engineered, and integrated into the carry handle, helping to create a stable installation with less movement. There are 4 handle positions on the Affirm. Only positions 1 and 2 are for use in the vehicle. Position 1, which is the anti-rebound position, the one closest to the vehicle seat back, is optimal and recommended. Position 2, which is the carry position, is acceptable. The seat has been crash tested with the handle in both positions, so if a parent or caregiver forgets to lower the handle into the anti-rebound position, it is okay. Summer designed its own retainer clip for the Affirm 335. The intent here was twofold. We wanted it to be small so that it would properly fit really tiny babies and not be overwhelming in size. However, we also wanted to eliminate the urge for the older child to unbuckle themselves, so we incorporated a 2-release button system. Both buttons have to be pressed at the same time in order to open the retainer clip. Also, if you look closely at my Huggable Images friend here, you'll notice that the harness pads have been removed. They are optional. Therefore, if you get a better harness fit without them, especially on the tiny babies, they may be removed to provide more space for the retainer clip to lie in the proper position. The carrier weighs only 8 pounds, so the Affirm is not only easy to carry already, but also designed to minimize strain with the integrated float carry design. The hub of the car seat handle has been tailored to facilitate a comfortable grip. And if you notice the picture on the right, the hub is not completely round, but has a distinct design shape to facilitate this comfort. With your baby facing you, you loop your arm through the handle and out again. The palm of your hand lies flat where that red line is, and then where the yellow line is, your fingers curl around and grip underneath the hub into a little cutout notch area. The float carry method distributes the weight of the seat differently, alleviating strain on your back, arms, and hips. Both the Affirm 335 base as well as the carrier itself are labeled with a QR code. The picture on the left is from our base and the picture on the right is from our carrier. Whenever a caregiver scans either product label, they are taken directly to our car seat install videos via the Summer website. In addition, our QR code is on In addition to the QR code being on both the Affirm base and the carrier, it is also printed and scannable from the 2021 latch manual at the end of our manufacturer listing in Appendix A on page 65. So in closing here, just a few things for inquiring tech minds. We do allow lower anchor borrowing. However, the vehicle manufacturer instructions must also allow. For installing car seats next to each other, Summer follows the guidance of the manufacturer's Alliance for Child Passenger Safety. So if you head on over to Safe Ride News and click on the MACPS harmonized statements, you'll find one that specifically discusses the recommendations for installing adjacent car seats. You must replace the Affirm after a crash of any kind, even if the seat was unoccupied. We do not allow the use of inflatable belts. Our expiration is 6 years from the date of manufacture. And over on our summer website, you can find a car seat registration link at the bottom of the page. Because we all know the importance of registering any car seat, we offer families the option to register the Affirm online. You can also find our instruction manuals and installation videos there as well. Some works in progress for summer are the FAQ page and the ever popular CPST discount. We are in the very, very beginning stages of working on a platform for institutional sales, especially for those of you who work with the NICU population. So here is my contact email information, our consumer relations website and phone number, the Summer Infant website, our YouTube channel. We are a proud member of the Manufacturers Alliance for Child Passenger Safety, and we are also on all of the other social media platforms. So that is it for me.
So next, moving on to Trudy from CLAC.
Good morning, everybody. Can everybody hear and see my screen okay? Yes, awesome. Hope everybody is having a great day today and enjoying the conference so far. So my name is Trudy and I am CLAC's Child Passenger Safety Consultant. I'm going to start with just a little bit of background information about CLAC and then we'll move straight into our products. So our roots are from a large automotive supplier, but we are a smaller family-owned Canadian company. Our family of products started out with boosters. Auto came first, followed by Ollie, Aussie, and Uber. We entered the convertible seat market with the Fünf at the end of 2012 and introduced the Flow in 2014. In 2019, we introduced the Ling, and 2020 brought with it our newest member of the family, Lingo. So this is just a brief comparison of Ling and Lingo. They have a lot of features in common, including the height and weight limits, expiration, stroller compatibility, fit to child, and the 1+2 year extended warranty when registered online. The main difference between Ling and Lingo is that Ling comes with a stay-in-car base and may only be installed with the vehicle belt when installing the carrier without the base. Lingo does not come with the stay-in-car base, and it may be installed with either latch or the vehicle belt when it's being installed in the car. Now, Lingo may be used with the Ling base if the latch bin is removed, and I have a slide dedicated to showing what the latch bin looks like. But you have to buy the base separately if you want to use it with the Lingo. And you're going to follow all of the Ling's warnings if you're using a Lingo on the Ling. So basically, when you take off the latch bin and you use the Ling base, your Lingo is then a Ling. So for those of you who are familiar with the Lingo specs will sound familiar as they are the same. The Lingo is certified for use from 4 to 35 pounds and for infants up to 32 inches tall. Infants will be able to continue to use the Lingo as long as they are within the height, weight, and fit requirements. As with all seats, it is a case of whichever limit comes first. Once the child has reached one of the limits, it would be time to move them into a rear-facing convertible such as the Fünf for a Flow, which will allow them to remain rear-facing longer. Based on growth charts, 97% of kids will be within the height and weight limits of the Ling at their first birthday. Or the Lingo, both of them actually. At 16.9 inches in width, the Lingo is the same width as the Ling, as well as the Fünf and Flow convertible seats. So all of our harness products are designed to be able to fit 3 across in most vehicles. As is typical in most 3 across situations, it is usually necessary to use the vehicle belt when trying to fit 3 across in a vehicle. Also, like the Ling, Lingo has 3 sets of harness slots and 1 crotch strap position. So for the installation, when I'm talking about the seatbelt installation of Lingo, this applies straight across to Ling as well. So the European belt path is the preferred method of installation for Lingo. Everything on both Ling and Lingo is color-coded blue to show where everything routes. The European belt routing is preferred unless it is a forward inflatable belt. And we do allow the use of forward inflatable belts with both Ling and Lingo, only when the base is not used. So you cannot install the base using an inflatable belt, but you can install the carrier using an inflatable belt. We do want the vehicle belt being switched to ALR mode if that ALR mode is present. If you do not have a switchable retractor and if there's no pre-crash locking mechanism, then you would need to use a locking clip. Lingo is approved for use on aircraft. Just follow the lap-only belt installation instructions found in the manual. So this slide here is showing you what the latch bin looks like. The upper image has the door of the latch bin closed, and then inside the circle, you can see what it looks like when it's opened up. So the Lingo's latch bin is what makes it unique from most other infant seats. It allows for Lingo to be installed with latch in dedicated latch seating positions with standard 11-inch spacing. Note that we do not allow borrowing if that spacing is larger. So if you have a center seating position where it is not standard spacing, it's like, you know, how Ford has in some of their manuals, it's 19 inches or 20 inches or, you know, varying widths. We would instruct to use the vehicle belt in that situation. The latch bin is connected to the carrier by 2 T20 Torx screws. And Torx screws, they kind of look like stars. They're not true Phillips. They've got an extra point on them. The Lingo does come with a special tool that has that T20 Torx tip on it, so you can remove the latch bin. And if you don't have that little tool that came with it, then a standard T20 Torx screwdriver may be used to remove the bin. So this photo shows Lingo installed with latch in a 2015 Subaru Legacy. When Lingo is installed with latch, the adjuster will be on the side of the seat closest to the passenger door. Whether you're installing Lingo with the vehicle belt or latch, position Lingo so that the blue recline reference line is parallel to the ground prior to tightening the vehicle belt. So the specs of Ling are the same as the Lingo with the exception of the 7-position adjustable recline in the base, which is where some of the magic of the Ling base happens. One point to note about Ling that is different than the general rules surrounding infant seats is that when you're using the load leg with the base, we permit the top of the infant's head to be even with the top of the seat pad. The 1 inch above the top of the head rule only applies when the load leg is not in use or if you were installing without the base. We will go into the specifics of how the recline adjustment works in a little bit, but there are 7 different recline adjustments on the base, making it easy to get the correct angle. Like the Lingo, the Ling has 3 sets of harness slots and 1 crotch strap position. Sorry, my slides jumped too there. So Ling is designed around ease of installation, whether it's being installed using the rigid latch or the vehicle belt. Making a car seat that is easy to install is important because it makes it more likely that a seat will be installed properly. On the base of the Ling, there are key points that are color-coded with red and green. With a rigid latch install, the indicator on the side of the connector is red when the connector isn't attached and green when it is, as seen in the picture. And you can kind of see that, that's just on the left side of your screen. There's a little green window you can see there. Please note that for the Ling, we only permit installing with either rigid latch or the vehicle belt. And for those of you who've been around for a while, you know that our convertible seat, the Fünf, also features rigid latch. And we allow both seat belt and rigid latch used together with the Fünf when it's installed forward facing. So this is a difference between Ling and Fünf. So just keep in mind one or the other. That is in the manual for the Ling, but if someone was to use both, you could potentially break the base. So it's quite an important rule to follow. So a little bit about the seat belt installation. The belt tensioning arm is required to be used with all vehicle belt installations. It assists with getting a tight install by removing excess slack from the vehicle belt. You will notice that it is a true lock-off, so you do not have to switch the belt to the ALR mode. When you're uninstalling, do unbuckle the belt before opening the belt tensioner. And keep in mind that it's a two-step process to open. So you would put one hand on the upper portion of the panel, just above that white handle, and press down. And then while you're pressing down with one hand, you squeeze the handle to open with the other hand. So that push down and then squeeze is important to keep in mind, because if you don't do it, you might have troubles opening the tensioner. So load leg use, I know load legs have been around for quite a while now, so many of you may be quite familiar with them. We always recommend using the load leg if possible. It's an important safety feature that limits downward rotation and reduces forces by up to 40%. Please note that in some vehicles with stow and go seating, the load leg may not be able to be used. If you have in-floor storage, we recommend checking the vehicle manual to see if there are any restrictions regarding the use of a load leg in the vehicle. And if you cannot use the load leg for whatever reason, then we recommend installing the base using the vehicle belt. And one point to kind of just call out on this slide here is do adjust the load leg before adjusting the recline. Just because if it lifts the back of the base up a tiny little bit, it will influence your recline. So easy angle adjustment, and I have a lot of favorite features about Ling, but this is definitely probably the one I celebrate every time, because you do all of the installation first and then you adjust the recline. So it takes all of the guesswork out of recline adjustment. As you adjust the recline sled, that's kind of the center portion on the base of the Ling. That changes the position that the Ling sits when it's docked on the carrier, on the base itself. So that handle on the left side of your screen is your recline handle. You just pull that handle and adjust the recline sled until part of the bubble is in the correct zone for the child's weight. Please note we do not allow pool noodles or rolled towels, just because the built-in recline is enough in most vehicles, so using a towel or a pool noodle is likely to cause over-recline. So if you run into a vehicle where you're having any questions or you think it's just not quite right, the CPST email is on the screen there, so just make a note of that and shoot me off an email. If you can include photos, the vehicle's make, model, year, then we can check into it in more detail for you. So moving on to the insert, the newborn support system is the same for both Ling and Lingo. It is designed to position a newborn in a natural head-back position to protect the airway. The bottom portion of the insert must be removed at 11 pounds if baby needs the top set of slots when it's in. If baby fits properly without the insert prior to 11 pounds, the insert may be removed sooner, provided the shoulders are still even with the bottom set of harness slots once it's removed. The insert lifts a baby up by almost 2 inches, so it will be necessary in most cases to adjust the harness height after removing the insert. And this slide is really just kind of pointing out there's 2 different releases, one for the stroller and one for the base. So the one that's on the carrier is how you remove the carrier from the stroller. The base has a one-hand 2-step release, so you're going to toggle the lock tab at the top and hold it, and then use your fingers to pull out on the release handle, and that's how you take the carrier off the base. The handle, you can see in the bottom photo, there's that red visible. When the carrier is properly locked on the base, that bottom handle becomes flush with the back of the base and there will not be any red visible. So we do have instructions in the manual that if you can see red, the carrier is not attached and you need to double check and make sure it's going on properly. Okay. And moving on quickly just to flow and FOOMF, those are our convertible seats. These have been around for quite a while, so I'm not going to get into a lot of details on them. But I do want to just let you know that we have detailed frequently asked questions on our website, as well as video installation manuals. So if you have any questions about these seats in detail, either feel free to email me at cpst@clecinc.com, or you can visit our website or check out the support section of our website. The main differences between the 2 seats come down to fit to vehicle and the installation instructions. The fit to child is identical between the 2 seats. And Q-Tether, we released last year. It's an accessory sold separately for the FOOMF and Flow. It controls downward rotation in a collision similar to a load leg. More information, including a video manual of how to install the Q-tether, is also available in the support section of our website. And we do have a tech discount on most of our products, but the Q-tether is excluded from the tech discount because it's priced as a replacement part. So I just have a note there that it's excluded. And these are our boosters. All-click booster seats have a 40-pound minimum, with the Uber having a maximum weight limit of 100 pounds and the Ollie and Aussie having maximum weight limits of 120. Our boosters all feature rigid latch. Uber has a reclining seat back, which is convenient for big kids who may still sleep in the car. It often also works in vehicles that have forward-leaning headrests, so that's something to keep in mind if you're struggling with a vehicle that has some specific features. And we do have a fit database, so you're always welcome to email cpst@cluckinc.com if you have any questions and you want to know in advance, hey, this is the vehicle, I'm thinking about this seat, how is it going to fit? We don't have every single vehicle in there because it is built out by testing seats and vehicles and taking photos, but we have a pretty wide variety of vehicles and seats together now. So that was just our accessories. This is my contact information. So feel free to reach out at any time if you have any questions. We're always here to support you. And thank you so much for everybody's attention and to the state for inviting us.
Okay, we will be moving on to John.
Hi, I hope you can hear me, and I'm going to share my screen. Can somebody just give me a nod that you guys can see this? Are you looking at the correct one, or are you looking at the presenter mode?
I see the full screen.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone. Okay, thank you very much for inviting me to present today. It's great to get these opportunities because I find out all of the improvements our competitors are doing to their products, and it's just wonderful to see so much innovation going on in child passenger safety. I've got some really exciting news on updates to our two products in the Mifold range. First of all, for those of you who don't know me, I'm John Sumroy. I'm the CEO of Mifold and also a certified passenger safety technician for a few years now. There's some pictures of my kids, and my most exciting news is that I found out recently I'm going to become a grandfather for the first time. This chart really summarizes the reason that the Mifold range of booster seats exists. In the US, there have been decades of improvements in child passenger safety, in the reduction of death and injury to children. This chart goes back all the way to the 70s. But what you can see on the right-hand side is that that improvement plateaued about 10 years ago, and for a few of the last 3 or 4 years, there's even been a decrease in the protection of children. More children are being killed in cars. And one of the main reasons is that we're actually living through a personal transportation revolution, not just with all these methods of new transportation like the Ubers and the Lyfts and the Zip cars and the Turos, but just a general move from people not wanting to own cars anymore and just wanting to use cars that match the needs of the particular journey. And what's the main issue if you don't own a car and you just use a car? You don't have anywhere to leave your car seat, your child restraint. It means that you have to hope that the car you are renting or hiring or hailing is going to have a car seat, and we all know that's very unusual today. Or you have to have products that are compact and portable enough so that the car seat can stay with the child and not with the car. And that was the inspiration behind us creating the Mifold range of grab-and-go booster seats and the new Hifold fit and fold booster seats. We provide individual compact portability, and in this COVID area, also a very hygienic solution for travel, carpooling, taxis, rentals, ride hailing, ride sharing, etc. We've always been very connected with the CPST population since we set up the company. And all of you can go to our website, mifold.com, and click on the CPST link. And we have 2 handbooks there, one teaching text about Highfold and the other teaching text about Mifold. For those of you that don't know what we do, we invented heightless booster seats and created the ultra compact booster seat category in 2016. The seat at the front there, the little one with the red belt guides extended, is the original Mifold grab and go booster seat. And it's next to what we think is the smallest backless booster seat we've managed to find on the market. And Mifold is more than 10 times smaller, but it is just as safe. And the reason is because Mifold works actually in a different way to regular booster seats. I'm sure many of you know this, but when you put a 6-year-old, this is a little 6-year-old boy in the back of a Volvo, if you put him in the back of the car and just fasten the adult seatbelt, it's not going to fit. That lap belt that should be across the top of the thighs against the pelvis is going to ride up and be on the stomach. And the chest strap, which should be snug between the neck and the shoulder on the clavicle bone, will be rubbing his face or his neck. And a traditional booster seat lifts that child up to put the child into the position of the adult so that the seatbelt fits. What Mifold does is exactly the opposite. Instead of lifting the child up to fit the belt, Mifold holds the belt down to fit the child. So what you can see on the right there is that the lap belt guides on either side of the child's thighs are holding that lap belt in a perfect position across the top of the thighs against the pelvis, and the shoulder belt is pulled down nicely onto the clavicle. One of the other interesting things about Mifold is that it also positions the child correctly on the vehicle seat because of that snug way that the lap belt is routed. We have 3 products. Actually, we have 4. You have to wait for the next slide. We have 3 products in the Mifold range. Mifold Original on the left there, the original grab and go booster seat. We have Mifold Sport, which is our luxury version. And we also have Mifold Basic. Mifold Basic is a non-folding version, and we actually created that for fleets. And in the US, those of you that are familiar with Hop, Skip, Drive out in California, they're kind of an Uber for kids, providing personal transportation for children to after-school activities and to and from school. They've selected Mifold Basic as the standard booster seat in their network. And we also have Mifold Highfold, the fit and fold high back booster. As with all of our products, it's incredibly compact and portable, and you can see it folded up there in the top picture. But it's also the most adjustable high back booster seat, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So the first exciting new news that I want to share with you today is that to celebrate the 4th birthday of Mifold, we have launched the all new and improved Mifold Comfort. Mifold Comfort has 10 significant improvements over the original product, and I'm going to quickly whiz through those with this introduction to the all new and improved Mifold grab and go booster seat. And the first thing to talk about is this gorgeous new compact comfort seat cushion. It's more than 3 times thicker than the original one, and that makes Mifold even more comfortable on longer journeys and for everyday use. And there is, I believe that might be my daughter's finger, just showing you how incredibly padded that new compact comfort seat cushion is. We've also upgraded the design. We call it a mountain ridge shell. You can see that on the left-hand side, but also those 4 little slightly lighter grey triangles on the left-hand side are some anti-grip slip pads, which give even more friction between the Mifold seat and the vehicle seats. It comes in a gorgeous range of new colours: charcoal grey, royal purple, and ocean blue. We've upgraded the shoulder clip on this new version of Mifold. It's called the Quick Clip 2, so it's now even easier and quicker and simpler for a child or a caregiver to attach that shoulder clip with one hand, and it still adjusts to fit children of all sizes. For those of you familiar with the original Mifold, you know that we have very little space on the product, so a lot of the labels and warnings and instructions that we want to put on the product have to go on the shoulder strap. And in this new version, we've got a beautiful sublimation printed way of doing that directly onto the strap, so we don't have those ugly labels that are sewn on, which we all felt really spoilt the beauty and simplicity of the original version. The compact comfort seat is so squishy and padded, it's almost bursting with comfort. It doesn't close. So we've put a tidy little storage clip on the end of the shoulder strap. You can wrap the strap around the seat and then just clip it in place and hold everything together. So in addition to all of the improvements I've said, 3 other things I'd like to mention. Firstly is that Mifold Comfort is globally regulated. The original version of Mifold came in 2 different versions, one regulated for North America, FMVSS 213 and CMVSS 213, and one for the rest of the world. And being a travel-focused product, one of the questions we often got was, can I take my Mifold seat and use it in another country in the world? This new version of Mifold is globally regulated. It doesn't matter where you buy it. You can use it in every country in the world except for Australia. And on the right-hand side, just something that we're quite proud of is that for our e-commerce sales, where the visual impact of the product in store isn't important, we've moved to a recycled and recyclable, frustration-free packaging. It's not moving. Here we go. It's a quick summary about the usage of Mifold Comfort, in fact, the whole Mifold range. You should start using Comfort once your child has outgrown their seat with a 5-point harness. It has a minimum age of 4 years old and above. Globally regulated, as I mentioned. Children weighing 40 to 100 pounds and with the height 40 to 59 inches. Discontinue using Mifold when the ears are above the seat back or the headrest, or when the child exceeds 100 pounds. And Mifold, in fact, all of our products have a useful life of 7 years from the date of manufacture. So that's the all new and improved Mifold Comfort. Our second major product, which we launched last year, COVID times isn't the best time to introduce a new product, but we're really excited with the initial feedback. So Highfold Fit and Fold Booster Seat is the most adjustable high back booster seat in the world. And I've got a 10-second video just for you to see exactly what that adjustability is. First of all, it obviously folds down. It expands both height ways and width ways, and then it folds up. But what you can't see from that little video is that actually there are 243 individual setting configurations with Highfold. So there are 9 different height settings, and then each section has got 3 different width settings. 3 different width settings for the head, for the body, and for the hips, which, if you do the math, comes to a total of 243. Now, this isn't a gimmick. You'll know there's quite a lot of high back boosters that as you raise the height, the shoulder width changes. But that's not really good if you happen to have a tall, thin child, where you actually want the hip width and the shoulder width to remain narrow, but still give the child the right height. Or the alternative, in fact, every possible configuration of child shape and size you can think of: wide hips, narrow shoulders, wide shoulders, narrow hips, and everything in between. And then I won't dwell on this, but if you go to our website, you'll be able to see just how simple it is to adjust all of those, even while the child is actually sitting in the seat. And this little chart, which you'll be able to get when you get a copy of the slides, shows you all of the different measurements for each of those configurations. Highfold is similar to Mifold. It's for children aged 4 years and above, 40 to 100 pounds, 40 to 59 inches. Only start using it when your child's outgrown a 5-point harness and 7 years from the date of manufacture. I also want to comment on something in general about using a booster seat, as well as waiting till the child's outgrown the seat with a 5-point harness. The child really needs to be able to sit properly for the entire journey. That means they need to be able to sit without slouching, without playing with the belts, putting it behind the back or under their arm, or leaning out of the seat. And very quickly, the wow of Mifold is this multi-fold system for storage and portability. For those of you that were on Brian Witt's presentation before this one, he was talking about how a typical car seat that they manufacture has 20, 40, sometimes 100 components. Highfold is an engineering feat. It has more than 500 components so that everything can fold and everything can adjust. And there's a beautiful video, you can see the link there, of just how we do put together the Hifold Fit and Fold booster seats. Also globally regulated, and Hifold comes in 2 different colors, priced $129. We have a $10 storage bag and a really, really ingenious clip-on cup holder that can clip on either side of the seat. So this is the whole Mifold and Hifold ecosystem. Last year, we hit a milestone of having sold 1 million seats in more than 150 countries in 4 years. We have a vision, which is we want there to be a child restraint for every child in every car, on every journey, every time. And that's why we make these things compact and portable. We have CPST pricing. You send an email with a copy of your certificate to cpst@mifold.com, and Carmel or one of the other people in our customer service team will help you get 33% off the Mifold range and 25% off the Hifold range, and slightly more if you are an instructor. Thank you very much for the time and the opportunity of presenting to you. Here's my contact details, and I want to thank the guys for putting on such a great conference today.
Okay, thank you, everyone. We have time for a couple of questions. The first question is for Trudy. It says, does vehicle manufacturers allow use of the Q tether, and is that information included in the latch manual?
So thanks, Partha. This is a great question. The Q tether is being routed according to vehicle manufacturer instructions. So you're using the dedicated tether anchor in the way it's directed to be used. So there is not any special allowance that is needed from the vehicle manufacturer. So it is not included in the latch manual. If you have a dedicated tether anchor, you're good to use the Q tether.
Okay. Let's see, this one says, have you all been able to make advances in safety for kids who die in car seats from unsafe sleep? Does data show when parents stop taking children out the car in the seats? Let's see, or more caregivers trending toward not taking the child out of the car seat based on whether access to the stroller. So I don't know if anybody wants to jump in. I mean, I think we all educate not to do that, but it does happen. How important are latches on a booster seat since they are on some and not all? Whoever wants to jump in on that one.
I was typing in some responses to folks too, and just said, you know, generally lower anchors are an ease of use feature on boosters because we know that the latch shoulder belt is what's restraining the child. So the lower anchor is really there to prevent that car seat or booster seat from becoming a projectile in the event it's unoccupied. Then the other note that I put out there, you know, just from my own personal experience with my own child, I did find that using a booster that had lower anchors allowed her to climb in and out of the vehicle easily without pushing that booster seat out of position. So it just made it a little bit easier for her to get in and out without me worrying that, you know, now she was slightly out of position for where that shoulder belt and lap belt needed to fit on her. But generally, it's just there for ease of use and primarily for that not being a projectile when it's unoccupied.
I'll just take the opportunity to add to what Sarah was saying. The original idea for latch, was to fix the seat in a car so that you could fix the child in the seat in an infant seat. A few years ago, Transport Canada did some quite interesting research with latched booster seats, where they actually showed that if the seat doesn't move forward with the child into the vehicle seatbelt during a collision or deceleration event, then there's more of a risk with latch that the child could actually submarine under the lap belt. So I think a lot of that information and the videos are available online from Transport Canada. And that's the reason why on our booster seats, we don't include latch, but when we get into infant seats in the future, we definitely will.
And I'd just kind of like to add on to that the Transport Canada testing that John mentioned was research testing that was done. And there was misuse involved in much of that research testing as well. So that's a relevant factor before anybody kind of panics and says, I'm never using latch with my booster again, because that was back in 2009 that came out. So it's been around for quite a while and is something that causes a lot of confusion, I find, with parents. The other factor I had just wanted to add on to what Sarah said was when you have a vehicle seat, some of the higher end vehicles have quite contoured vehicle seats. And so it can sometimes lead to children in boosters complaining of things like feeling like they're tilted or wobbly. So latch with the booster can be beneficial in those circumstances just because it gives the seat some extra stability.
All right, thanks everyone. It is noon, or it is 12:01, so that is our ending time. So thank you to everyone for spending your morning with us, and we look forward to seeing you all tomorrow morning. Thanks everyone.